How about this for recent events, eh? Don't worry, we'll get into a bigger and bolder conversation about the Vancouver Canucks later in today's show, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the playoffs, because tomorrow, we as hockey fans are going to be treated to our second Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The first is going to be held tonight between the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. It is a heavyweight battle to the end. Who knew that Colorado and Dallas would head over into 7 games? But tomorrow's Game 7 is going to feature another pair of Central Division teams, St. Louis and Winnipeg. And without a doubt, there is one guy whose name has been taking over the hockey conversation in regards to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it is none other than the best goalie on planet Earth, Connor Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck was nominated for the Hart Trophy this year. He has the Vezina on lock. This season, in the regular season, he posted up a career-high .925 save percentage and a .201 goals against. Not to mention his 47-12-3 record with 8 shutouts. Hellebuyck was a monster. And he posted up a .932 save percentage and a .159 goals against at the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. This was an incredible season for the Winnipeg Jets' 31-year-old netminder, and he is the best goalie in the world. Until the playoffs begins, because yes, it's true that Connor Hellebuyck in the past 3 seasons has scored up a .920, a .921, and a .925 save percentage, but in the playoffs, oh boy, it's a lot worse than that. In 2023, Connor Hellebuyck and the Winnipeg Jets lost in 5 games in the first round to Vegas, and Hellebuyck posted up an .886 save percentage. In 2024, the Jets and Connor Hellebuyck lost in 5 games to Colorado, and Hellebuyck put up an .870 save percentage. This year, against the St. Louis Blues, sure, the series is tied 3-3. It's not a 5-game elimination for Winnipeg, but Connor Hellebuyck has an .822 save percentage. Oh my gosh, this guy is so bad in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's ridiculous. Now, it wasn't always like this. There was a moment once upon a time when Connor Hellebuyck was a playoff performer. He had a .931 save percentage in 2021 and a .922 save percentage when the Winnipeg Jets made it all the way to the 3rd round. That was a long time ago. But Connor Hellebuyck nowadays, after ascending the ranks to becoming the best goalie in the world, has totally fumbled the bag, and he has gotten pulled in each of the 3 Winnipeg Jets losses to St. Louis in this series. Connor Hellebuyck has had 1 game in the playoffs this year above .900 on the save percentage, and the ones where he doesn't have anywhere near that look terrible. .783 save percentage against the Blues in game number 6. Eric Comrie has to come in. .722 save percentage in game number 4. .760 save percentage in game number 3. The Blues are finding ways to win these games on home ice, and it comes at the expense of Connor Hellebuyck and his overall statistical profile. And it's not even like, oh, the St. Louis Blues just play so much better. It's like, are you seeing some of the goals that Connor Hellebuyck is allowing? For every great save that Hellebuyck makes, there's 2 bad ones that squeak in. And at this point, we're starting to see more of a narrative with Vancouver fans that I wanted to dive into in this video here. Because yes, it's true that the home team has won every single game in this Jets and Blues series thus far. But the last time that happened in a series, or I don't know if it was the last time, but the last time that everybody is talking about it happening, at least for these Vancouver fans, is when the Canucks and the Bruins met in the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals. Because in that series, hey, guess what? The home team won every single game, But afterwards, you saw the away team finally win in Game 7, and there was another overarching narrative back in the 2011 finals that everybody was talking about. It was indicated here by Mike Halford on Twitter yesterday. A listener wrote in this week that Connor Hellebuyck is this generation's Luongo. And I've thought about it a lot. This is where we dive into a little bit of history. Because Vancouver in the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals only beat Boston in 1-goal games. 1-0, 3-2, 1-0. But the Bees had multiple multi-goal victories against Vancouver where they absolutely tortured Roberto Luongo and his overall statistical profile. It's not entirely the same as to what's happening with Winnipeg and St. Louis nowadays, but Roberto Luongo, a guy who was a .928 save percentage goalie in the regular season, a Vezina nominee, and the inevitable loser to Tim Thomas, had a .914 save percentage in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Although, if you wanted to isolate it to just the finals, that's where Bobby Lou's save percentage was all over the place. 1 save percentage in Game 1, .933 in Game 2, .789 in Game 3, .800 in Game 4, another 1 save percentage with the shutout, but then followed up by a .625 save percentage in Game number 6 and an .850 save percentage in Game number 7. Are we seeing Roberto Luongo syndrome part 2? And there are some folks that are going out there and discrediting this idea. Lachlan Irvin went out there and said that Luongo had 2 1-0 shutouts in a cup final. Hellebuyck wishes that he was Luongo. Lou had some very good playoff performances mixed in there. Give him more credit. And here's the thing. I'll say that Connor Hellebuyck has had 1 or 2 games that were noteworthy in the playoffs the past few years, but there was a string in 2018 where he was a lot better. That 2018 stint doesn't really bring itself up nowadays. It's not really too relevant when you think about the modern scope of NHL goaltending. I mean, 2017, 2018, there were definitely not as many guys scoring points like they do nowadays. It's a new league, folks. A lot more 100-point scorers and a lot more 30, 40, 50-goal scorers. It's different now. So the fact that Connor Hellebuyck can even still have a comparable save percentage in the regular season with a better goals against, I mean, he is a better goalie now than he was in 2018. But all of a sudden in the playoffs, Connor Hellebuyck forgets how to goaltend. It's ridiculous. For what it's worth, though, going back to the Vancouver conversation, I will say, it's always been my subconscious belief, even as an 11-year-old guy back in 2011, 2012, etc., it was always my underlying belief that if Vancouver started Corey Schneider in one of those Boston games, they would have won the cup. If they got the 3 wins they got out of Luongo, and Schneider plays at least 1 of Game 6, or even Game 7, I do think that Vancouver takes the dub. And that is not even to discredit the idea that, yeah, you wouldn't start your backup in Game 7 of the finals. Like, that's just not what you do. Yeah, okay, I understand that. And you can have the same argument for Game number 6. It's like, hey, Luongo had a shutout in Game 5. Why would you start Schneider Game 6? The dynamics are just too complicated to fully commit to starting Corey Schneider in at least one of those games. But I was thinking, man, if they just did it in Game 4 even, you wouldn't have to go through the entire song and dance of Lou embarrassing himself and getting pulled. Corey Schneider, I think he had it in him, but honestly, we'll never know. And the same argument brings itself up today, or not today, tomorrow in 2025. Folks are asking, oh, do you start Eric Comrie in Game 7? Connor Hellebuyck just posted up back-to-back sub-900 save percentage games. And 3 of those were in the 700 range. Do you say that's enough of a red flag and you go with Eric Comrie for tomorrow? Who really knows? I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Connor Hellebuyck performance in this year's playoffs and whether or not it does compare to what Roberto Luongo did in 2011. Thoughts in the comment section below about how Hellebuyck has played. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.